Dobber, Dillyn back. Just your thoughts on that?
Oh, it's nice to have him. The Springboks obviously want him to get some game time. He hasn't played since right towards the end of Super Rugby, so I know he's trained incredibly hard. I think you can see his shape. He's trained incredibly hard with the box, and now he just needs to get on the field. So, and also his presence in the team is fantastic. You guys enjoy having him.
And the same about Walker. Great to have Walker back.
Yeah.
Especially against the Pumas.
Yeah. Walker, I thought he was very good, and I think when he came on last week against Argentina, so for us to have him this week is a treat. Also, a guy just needs a bit of game time. So, what's so nice about these guys is they're so keen to play for us. They're not sort of trying to preserve themselves. Notch as well, you know, he could be on a Springbok tour next week, and they're all keen, which is nice.
One thing you are doing is changing a team that did very well. How do you feel about that?
Not all of them are voluntary. You know, obviously we can't say no to Wilco and Damien. I alluded to last week that Dillyn on the wing was a horses for courses in those conditions, and I think we got proved right with our tactics, and it's exactly the same this week. We feel this is the right way around for the game we're expecting. And then the other change is JJ's injured. You know, he's got a thigh. We could have pushed him. Salman Marat cleared his concussion, but you know, it was a big knock, and the 6-day turnaround to me seems to be too risky and too much for a young player. He's got such a massive role to play at the Union. So those changes were sort of pretty much enforced.
The captaincy, Dobber, is
Controversial.
if Chris comes on the field, doesn't stay captain. What's the story?
No, I think
You'll yank Dillyn off.
Yeah, he'll probably take that role on himself. Yeah. He'll tell me as he runs on. No, Dobber said.
What'll happen on match day?
No, Dillyn Leyds is the skipper for this game, man. Oh, and JD the vice captain.
You got to win the Currie Cup.
Yeah, Chris has got a. Chris hasn't played for a long time, so he needs to focus on his game. You know, it was a big debate now between him and Salman, but Salman is not 100%, so it's a good opportunity to get Pickles back on the field.
What do you expect from the Pumas? You must have seen the game against the Grippers.
I think we've got a pretty clear idea. I think you know, they play a more traditional South African game. You know, what I think Stephen Jones wrote earlier this year that the South African rugby, Super Rugby's messed up South African rugby because we've been trying to sort of play a different game. It's not the sort of South African DNA. We can debate that, but they play the old South African. You know, we know what's coming. We know it's a big pack of forwards, a good maul, a massive kicking game from Ungara. They get real energy when they get in our 22. I must say, since the change in coach, we have seen a couple of changes to their setup, and we see some opportunities around that. But it's you know, it's very much plan A, no plan B rugby. You know, and yeah, we prepared. I think we're well prepared for it.
John, just given that, are you happy with what you saw on Saturday, especially given the conditions and how your back three coped with it?
Yeah, I was very. They were fantastic. Yeah, I thought it was an exceptional performance. The irony of this game and this week is that you know, playing the Pumas in those conditions would have been really tough given how they play. You know, and the Cheetahs up in the conditions that we expect on Friday night would have been a lot harder. But I thought it was one of the best wet weather performances I've seen, so I'm very pleased, but we know it's completely different this week. There's a lot of space out there in that stadium.
So, but there's something on Jano Gassis, just looking forward. I mean, as this guy, if he stays injury free, do you think he's got the potential to be a Springbok and go very far?
Yeah. I was talking with Shimmy about during training. I think, you know, if you're looking at Dwayne Vermeulen and what he brings to it, that's probably one of the most similar things there are in the country, you know, in terms of the youngsters coming through. So, yeah, to me, he's got the world at his feet. And, yeah, I don't want to, yeah. Craig, off the record, I mean, I think he's a bolter for end of year tour, but I don't want that to be overhyped. Do you know what I mean? But I think he's got a massive future. You know, you want a big 8 carries like that and clean and compete at the breakdown. He's special.
How's his work rate? Does that need to be up to it? Or?
That's probably his biggest improvement in the last while. That's why we played him so much in France, and last week was to get him really rugby fit, and I think we've seen the return. Unfortunately for him, we play a style which sees the 8 on the trams a lot, so it looks like he's not, you know, his stats aren't massively impressive. But then again, when he gets the ball in that wide channel, you get what happened on Saturday when he scores a try like that. So I would say I'm very excited about him.
That's his strength. I mean, you know, we all want the work rate. But I mean, that guy could score 2 tries every game if he gets opportunity 5-10 meters from try. South African coaches normally take that away and go on the work rate.
No, I was in the coach's box on Saturday saying, let's get Chop off his blowing, and then he scored. So okay, maybe it wasn't. You know.
But he's that type of guy. I mean, if he's close to the try line, you can get a try there.
Yeah, in the Super Sport Challenge, it was incredible what he did against Boland. He scored 3 tries from that sort of range. I mean, you're right, Danny, you were right about Nani, about the comparison. I did actually make, with Vunipola. But he's got that sort of impact like a Vunipola, in terms of his carries.
He's a lot quicker.
Just in terms of the back three, you mentioned the fact that they horses for courses, but if I look at Dillyn, SP and Sergel, does it really matter where they play?
No, they're all 3 brilliant in the air, and we know what's coming from Ungara, so that's a big thing. That's the first thing, and then Craig Berry's also good when he comes on. But we just felt that for this game, Dillyn's counter-attacking skills, he's got a bit more options at 15, in this sort of field and surface, and it's probably his best position. So, he wore it last week for the team. Espia is too mad to mind. You know what I mean? He'll play number 8 if he has to. But I do think that the one thing about playing wing as opposed to fullback, Liggett knows more than I do, but he's got a bit more freedom to strike at 15 on that field. That's what our feeling is. That he's got a bit more.
And Sergel come in. He didn't play last week, did he?
He came on.
Yeah. But just him starting again.
Listen, JJ's got quite a bit. Sergio, I thought, was very good in those. He played last week like it was dry, and he would look to run everything. He's very good in the air, and at his best, he's one of the best wings in South Africa. So this is the right field, the right to get him on the field.
And Alan, just your thoughts on the combinations. You don't mind where you play, but just playing with those guys.
Yeah, I think obviously, like Dobbo said, it's sort of obviously with the conditions we're expecting, it sort of gives us a chance to see how we can work and what we can offer from the back with our counter-attacking abilities. And like Dobbo mentioned, Serge, I think Sergio, when he came on, he literally picked up the ball wherever in those conditions and looked to run, looked to create something. So I think that's what's expected from us as a back three, and hopefully we can deliver.
Dillyn, just in terms of just looking back, your time in France and then, that togetherness within a squad, building that team morale, bringing that into last week's game, we could see, just like Coach says, it was the clinical performance by the team. The players really looked as if they were playing for each other. Is that the sense that you guys really are at that place where you feel that, we are going to die for each other kind of setup at the moment?
Yeah, I think that trip really did wonders for this team. I think we this morning JJ made a little video of our couple of days there, and everyone just looked back and sort of smiled and you just reminisce on those good times we had over there. And I think that trip was more, it was obviously about getting our rugby structures and our sort of skills, that sort of thing sorted. But I think it was more for us as a team to get together as well. And like you said, it will show on the field, and especially in a game like this when you're up against, the Pumas who've been doing very well, Super Sport Challenge winners at home. It's not easy to beat them. I think obviously, as everyone knows, last year we lost up there. So, these are the sort of games that a team where you say we are a tight bunch of guys, these are the games where it really comes through and gets tested.
Dillyn, the thing about last year that struck me is that, frustration crept in. I think Janne got a red card, if I'm not mistaken. So it was if there was this build-up of frustration. Now, obviously they can come kicking game, great chase lines, as much as you guys are on counter-attack and so on. Is that whole frustration thing a talking point? If we have these setbacks against the Pumas and so on, you just look at last year's game as there are lessons in that.
Yeah, obviously I think the guys sort of afterwards or now all sort of make a joke about what happened up there last year. But like you said, it's really those sort of things, especially with their kicking game. It can get a bit frustrating, and if they kick well in the day, like you say, no matter who we've got at the back, you know, they're gonna frustrate us, and then we're gonna look to try and do things not that we won't normally do. But I think what we just need to focus on is what we've been speaking about all week. You know, the players that we've got going into this game, and you know how we can sort of nullify their strengths. So I think going into this game, we've sort of all got a good idea of what we want to do, and I think this whole, for the last couple of days, you know, we've just been internally focused and worried about what we need to do to go and get a result up there.
Oh, Jimmy Stonehouse, he's an interesting character. What is?
Don't mention steroids in this.
Just your thoughts on him as a coach. I mean, you mentioned earlier that it's different. So what does he bring different, or how is it different?
I think what listen, before he went to Japan, they did an amazing job up there already. You know, with the Pumas, they, you know, he's from my son say he's from the Blue Bulls area, and he sort of obviously subscribes to that way of playing that was so successful for them. But that Pumas are very well drilled. They're very well organised. You know, they're like Stephen said, they chase lines, the way their pack works, especially in your 22, they get a lot of energy. So, and he's obviously got a massive belief and culture there, because it's, you know, with all respect to the Pumas, they're not household names necessarily, but they've been unbeaten this season, they haven't lost a game. And so, yeah, he deserves credit there.
Talking about France, Dover. The tour to France, how much did it cost in the further Wakefield there wasn't?
The president wasn't on the tour, and it cost us.
What's it got to do with the Pumas?
Our media man's intervened. We were guests of Montpellier and a sponsor, so it cost us literally.
Coach, now that every team has played in the tournament, the Currie Cup, what have you made of it so far? And also, obviously, lots of talk about the one-match format type of thing. Have you seen it affect any
I
teams that
think,
played?
you know, I'm the most vocal opponent of this format, but there's no doubt it's increased the intensity and the pressure in the games already. So there's a case for it. You know, it's bizarre. You know, we fought under pressure before we'd even run on against the Cheetahs, and we have to pretty much win every game to get that home final, which is what I think this team's capable of, or what par would be for this team. So, yeah, we under a bit of pressure. I mean, I think the standouts for me so far, even though they lost on the weekend, are the Bulls and the Sharks. You know, I know the Lions did very well with a young team. You know, it's a pity we had that draw with the Cheetahs, because as well as we played, I don't think the Cheetahs are going to be thereabouts with the Pro 14 guys starting. You know, so that. Yeah, I think every team those other competitors are going to do reasonably well against the Cheetahs. So, yeah, we need to get 5 on Friday, and then go to Ellis Park and then we'll be in a really good position, I think, because somebody's going to lose between the Lions and the Bulls this weekend.
You guys spoke about the sort of team environment and the culture in the squad. Does the players coming and going from the Springbok setup affect that, and if so, how?
Yeah, with guys like Wilco and Dukes and Notchi, they're so ingrained in our culture and part of our team and the group and the humour. You know, I was thinking last night, you know, that these guys coming into the squad, and they haven't been part of the French journey and everything. And then as Dillyn said, JJ played that video, and you could just sense the emotion. And these guys are like, thank you for the opportunity. So, they're province men through and through, so they bring a lot, and I think the guys enjoy that, and we can tease them. You know, I can tell. The militant express, or whatever we call him. No, they add a lot, and they're completely bought in. You know, it's not like these are superstars and we haven't seen for months or anything.
And Dan Creel, is it a case of Damon coming in and Dan Duke always having been your first choice?
I felt Dan Creel was extremely disappointed. And I felt for him. It's one of the worst jobs as a coach, but we've got I think he's probably the number 112 at the moment. Once Damien goes, but we have to get Dan Dup on the field. So and Damien's game time might be limited by the Springboks. So I want to get Dan Duplessis on the field and then make a decision. And then, you know, if Dan we pulled him out just before the game last week because of the conditions, and then if he didn't play this week and then he doesn't play the next week's a bye, then we haven't got Dan Dup. You know, we're taking a long time, because I think at his best he's a very special centre. So I just need to get him on the field and then we can make a decision. So it's tough on Dan Creel, but he'll be back for Ellis Park in some capacity.
If Damon gets to this game, do you think that he'll be in the Springboks squad? Is his fitness at that level already?
Yeah, I think given that they asked that he get some game time, he must be in their plans. But I don't know if he's going on the tour. But I mean, they did ask for. So yeah, I mean, there was a chance almost that he could have played last week, but the specialist wasn't quite happy.
You talked about the intensity, obviously, that last week, first match of the tournament brought. How's it been for this week with this short week?
No, good. The guys are excited. It's a bit pressured with the 6-day turnaround, and travelling. But I'm completely convinced this group want to make a statement in this Currie Cup. I think this is a really strong side, and they're keen to play. And like I said to them this morning, if we combine the talent that's in this thing with the will, the vibe, or the geest of the team, it's a good proposition. Man.
John, just looking at Noche's transition to number 6 again, you spoke about him being able to play that role, and he was especially prominent on the weekend with his ball carries. How do you see that going so far?
Well, I think where Noche and the Stormers this year deserve credit is he's gone from being, when we had him under 21s, he was very much a striker, a carrier, and what he's done so well this year was how much he's worked. His work rate's got so good, and last year he was out for a couple of months, and his first game back, I think, or mostly second, was the Currie Cup final. We played him at 6, and you didn't see him because he was just working. He was outstanding that game, and he's matured a lot as a player and a person, because his basics and his work rate's good, and then he's got that exciting step. It's a perfect combination. Look, I think he's probably his preferred position, his natural position is 8, but we also know that he may not be with us next week, so we want to give Trocky a good run there. Not just happy to wear it for the team.
All right. Thank you very much, John.